Hey, what's up you guys? I'm back with another challenge, and this time I'll be attempting to beat the game using the backhand weapon type. If this is your first video, hi, I'm Neo, and you can watch me stream Elden Ring challenges like this one live on Twitch. Link in the description down below. Starting the journey, as always, by grabbing this bony finger, sending me to the Shadow Realms. Running into the Scorched Runes, I pick up my first weapon, which is just lying on the ground. The aptly named Backhand Blade. Running around collecting some Skadoodle fragments to begin my setup. Hopping down into the Church of Benediction to collect my favorite tally, the Blessed Blue Dew tally, granting me passive FP regen. Attacking this cursed dude for his weapon, but he sadly didn't drop anything. So some parkour down these stones, getting to the Cerulean coast. Stopping for a chat with Egon, who tells me to kill Bayle. I was gonna do that anyways, buddy. Then getting invaded by the ancient dragon man. His bleed almost kills me, but I slice him down first. Unlocking this spirit spring, then hopping all the way up into Fort Reprimand. Jumping down into here to grab the Shadow Rune and the Marika Rune. Getting ambushed by the Omen Killer and fleeing. Then I run into more runes for the Skadoodle fragment, fighting another Cursed Blade, but still no weapon. So now I run into the Church of the Crusade, grabbing the fragment and completely ignoring Quelig. Picking up the Graveyard Anklets and putting them on for some extra temporary protection. Going down this ladder and traversing the maze of the Rune Forge. Yoinking on levers to open up new rooms. Stumbling on this stone golem who splashes his love at me. So I stab him in his butthole, getting a stagger in. He slams his bow on my head a couple of times, but I get another stagger in, and with another butt stab, he crumbles. Walking into this room where another golem is petting his lava blob, and another lava blob up top keeps trying to kill me. Then his pet comes to attack me, and I kill it with 2 slashes, leaping on him as he stumbles towards me and throws his lava, killing him with another 2 staggers, collecting the smithing tally. This enhances throwing attacks by 10%, which will come in handy for the other weapons that I'll be using in this run. Walking into this room full of lava blobs and quickly annihilating them. Jumping down the ledge to another lever and finally reaching my destination. Running past the golems, picking up my second weapon for the run, the Smith's Grip Cirque. Then teleporting back out. Going to Round Table, strengthening it fully, and adding the Keen Blind Spot Ash of War. Going to the Graveside Plain, spending some time killing the Cursed Blade to get its weapon. Not the easiest fight, considering its spinning maneuvers, which take a chunk out of my health each time, but I keep farming. First, it drops its wrist guard, which I put on. Then I switch my physic to boost successive attacks. Another time, it drops its mask, which I also equip. And after a stupid amount of time, I get what I wanted, the Cursed Blade Cirque. I've finally gotten all 3 weapons that I need for this run. Wow, look at all those blades! Sadly, you can't change its affinity, so I just strengthen it and head out. To keep this challenge a bit interesting, I will be switching between the weapons per Remembrance boss. The only caveat being that if things start getting too challenging with one of the weapons, I can switch to another one. So with that said, it's time for the first boss to face my wrath. The Golden Hippo. Heading in, it charges at me with a gaping mouth, and I dodge, slicing at him with my blade. His head pounds me into the ground, but I retaliate with a bleed. Phase 2, his spikes come out, but I keep slashing, getting a stagger in, and plunging my sword into his eye. Getting stuck under him for a second, but I keep slashing at him. As he pounces away, tanking the damage of his slams, he rolls, I dodge, then he clamps his mouth around me, turning me into a chew toy. I'm cornered by a wall, and I'm barely hanging on, but I keep pouncing at him and slashing, getting another bleed. He glows and flings his spines, impaling me. That was so close to a first try victory. Third round, getting grabbed in his mouth again, but not letting that stop me. Slashing him with my blade till he shifts to phase 2, getting impaled by the spikes, but I heal. Slashing at him as he runs past me, getting a snagger in, sticking to his butt and hacking at his tail. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of butt slashing in this run, it seems. I get slammed on, but I get back up, leaping at his face and swinging my sword. I stand victorious. Next up is the Keen Cirque, and I equip the smithing tally, since it's a throwing weapon. Running out, dodging all these guys who just want to chat, shoving this door open, then turning back to face them, slashing them with these 2D donuts, trying to get their helm, since it looks sick, but no luck. Sliding down this ladder, and falling down this one. Yeah, that was a longer drop than I thought. Alright, let's slide down this time. Rolling into the secret wall, and hopping into this coffin. Running past the runes, some parkour down the cliff, then running into the Eastern Nameless Mausoleum. Time to face Rakshasa. Her katana is the bane of my existence with its long reach, keeping back and throwing my weapon at her, and trying to slash her if she comes too close. But she can swing at me. Healing at a bad moment, she stabs me, and the blood loss ends me. Switching to the bleed blade, she gets a bleed on me, but I don't get one on her. Not realizing I'm out of flasks, I back up to heal, and I get stuck in the animation as she slices and dices me to bits. So yeah.
A few minutes later.
Let's switch back to the Cirque, since I can actually hit her with it from the distance. It's a game of keep away as I fling my weapon at her, and she tries to swipe at me with her weed cutter. It's definitely the way to go, since I can stay away and still land some hits. Backing away, I fling my blade at her. She heals, I keep throwing the weapon at her, and she tries to leap on me. I go in for a stab, I miss, but her katana pierces right through me, ending that great run. Switching my blessed blue dew tally to the smithing tally, and going back in. I switch back to the blessed blue tally for a damage test, and yeah, the smithing tally definitely does a bit more damage. As I go to switch them back, she slices me apart. When will I learn? That's on me for playing around with fight though.
3 days later.
Switching up my armor to the Highland attire for some extra defense. She's dodging all my throws, but I keep flinging them at her, tanking a slash from her katana. I'm healing, and she's slicing, her weed cutter almost taking me out. Throw after throw, and she's less than half health, so she heals. I heal all the way to one final flask and fling one final blade at her. She fades away. Yes! Rewarding me with her armor, putting on her helmet and her gloves, and saving the rest for later to not go up to medium load. So next up I head to Castle Ensis and decide to fight the Troll Knight for no apparent reason. Again, the range on this weapon isn't the best, so not all my throws land, but bit by bit his health goes down. At a quarter of his health, I even discover an attack which I hadn't been using before, the double hand throw. Leaping over his sword, I fling them one last time, and he falls, attacking this guy and his dog, killing the dog with one throw, backing away from this guy, and plummeting to my death. Again, killing this big hammer bro with some jump attacks and collecting the Skadoodle fragment. Next I shove this gate open as the guy follows me for the usual party, running past everyone else and adding them to the fan club collecting behind me. Hopping onto this lift, narrowly avoiding the big hammer bro, stepping into the fog, Rellana. Going in, I immediately throw my blade at her. Her blades have a long reach and I get snagged on them a couple of times, but I keep flinging my blade at her, slowly dwindling her health down. I take a hit from her sovereignty, no idea how I lived there. Second phase, and her twin blades are imbued with magic, taking another hit from the sovereignty and one from the daggers as I try to attack. Missing a couple of slashes, then getting split in half by her sword slash. Switching my king blade to cold since she can't be frosted. Going back in, I throw the blade, and on the third hit I get a frost proc, tanking her slashes, dodging the sovereignty and going in for a direct slash. But again, I'm too far, getting another frost proc, and it's time for phase 2. The limited range on the throws is annoying, since a lot of throws don't land, but I keep throwing anyways. Getting hit by her flame dance, another frost proc, and then she spins at me, slashing me to nothing. Switching my weapon to bleed and heading back in. Getting a bleed in depletes a huge chunk of her health. The damage she was taking was significant. It was only a matter of timing my dodges correctly to outlive her. Second phase, and I run right into the magic arc. Another bleed and time to jump over the moon drops. Sometimes I barely even nick her, but scratch by scratch I was getting there. Another moon drop, which is perfect cause I can get some free hits in, barely missing her flames, and I'm out of flasks. She goes back to her moon drops. I charge at her, slashing her into a stun lock, and that bleed finally ends her, rewarding me with the first remembrance of this challenge run. I switch my gauntlets out for the trousers, and next up is the Cursed Blade Cirque. Back to more runes, where I jump down into this cave, up this ladder, into Bonnie Village, running across this bridge, and this one, running between the legs of the big flame boy, and he sets the field on fire, ignoring him. I run straight ahead to the Cathedral of Manus, shoving the gate open and having a chat with the Emir. Running across some rooftops where I get fireballed till I slash him to bits, then cockily walking away victoriously, right into the water. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, I didn't mean that. There we go. I managed to jump this time. Much better. Dropping down into this beam, then into the building, trying to avoid this flame boy, and drowning again.
Okay, I'm gonna play as safely as I possibly can. Wait, I hit a wall! What the? What?
Don't think I've ever managed to die this amount of times to this place. Finally making it in, taking out my frustrations on the flame boy, and missing a jump. Again! Shoving the knight into the water so he can feel my pain, finally making the jump and collecting the Skadudu fragment, getting up this ladder and opening up the floodgates to get rid of that damn annoying water. Good, now that the land is all dry, I can no longer die by drowning. I still don't know how I can slay gods, but apparently water is an instant death. Shoving this door open and going up this lift. Realizing that I'm already at medium load, so I put on the rest of Rakshaka's set, heading to the temple town ruins, where I jump down these precarious, conveniently placed ledges, going underneath the waterfall and grabbing the two-headed turtle tally, which greatly increases stamina recovery. So I equip it instead of the smithing tally and head into the next fight. Skadudu prick. Running at it as it emerges from the depths of hell, getting pricked by the thorns and retaliating with a bleed. It pummels its head into me, and I tank it. It slams its head down at me again, and I slash it viciously, getting a stagger in and stabbing it into phase 2. It twirls on its roots at me, trying to trip me, and I miss the dodge. So it manages. My slashes are eviscerating it. If only I could dodge the thorns and slams. That would be great. Its head stays low and I slash at it, getting another stagger, and stabbing it to its final phase. Running away from its beams, which still manages to scratch me, where I'm sadly too far to retaliate. Its head is low, so I take the opportunity to get some slashes in. Then I dodge as it charges at me, slashing at its head, dodging most of the thorns. Then it goes in for a light blast again. I tank the first beam, but the second one ends me. Going in again, trying to preserve the flasks and slashing at it mercilessly when the head swings low. Phase 1 is over pretty quickly. A stagger and a stab sends it to phase 2. It charges at me and I get pricked by its wave of thorns, but I'm unfazed, leaping and slashing at its head as it sends another wave of thorns at me. I slash and slash, another stagger, a stab, and time for the final phase. It spawns below me and immediately goes for its bright beam attack. I flee, staying close enough to charge at it when it's down, getting some extra slashes in, then it stands for another beam attack and I run for my life. It's down once again and I'm charging at it. I slash and slash till there's no more health left in its bar. Yo, how's it still standing and fighting? So I give it one last slash and the prick turns to dust. Another remembrance in my pocket. I rest and level up, then switching back to the backhanded blade, going back to Shadowkeep up this lift and taking off my chest piece and gauntlet. So I go back to light load, into the specimen storehouse, across these feeties, yanking this lever, going across this beam, and onto another statue, avoiding the flame boy as I try to shove this door open. He follows me in, I grab the Skadudu fragment and he impales me. I try to run past him, going up the stairs to the grace, and he follows me. In the narrow staircase, he ferociously swings his fire blade at me, throwing fireballs, but I run up behind him, stabbing him in the back and staggering him. With 2 more slashes, he falls. Getting lost and running around, I try to parkour my way into the ledge below me, and I fall to my death. Not again. Dying to a flame boy as I'm trying to find where I need to go, sending me back to the beginning. Yeah, these flame boys are a pain in my Finally realizing that I was in the wrong place completely, teleporting back to the church district, going up this lift and this one, and voila, I'm where I need to be. Yay! Going down this lift, emoting at the statue to open the doorway. Time to face Commander Stabby Stomps. Commander Gaius. He comes charging at me from afar and I steel myself for the fight, getting hit by his sword and getting my own hits in, managing to get a bleed, missing a few dodges, but managing to slash him to half health, where he phase changes and I fail to dodge his ground pound and his charge attack, fleeing from the black hole and getting impaled by the tusks. That went way better than I thought it would. On my 4th attempt, he's down to half health again, and this time I can actually manage to dodge his plummeting attack. Slashing at him, getting kicked in the face, he keeps trying to stomp on me and I keep dodging. Another bleed, he gets a double swing on me. His gravity sword has a long reach, which is incredibly annoying, but I keep slashing and dodging. Leaping at his face, getting the final bleed in, and the commander goes down. So time to switch weapons, collecting the Skadudu fragments from near the chalice, running into the finger runes of Dio, getting back to back attacked by the fingered creepers, and becoming one Shutoi. Running in again, I blow into this finger, switching the Ash of War to magic damage, and charging into battle with the Falling Star Beast. I fling my blades at it, getting some decent damage in, fleeing its stalagmites, then throwing around the weapon some more. Unfortunately, due to the short range and the weird hitboxes of him, some throws whiff, but I keep throwing. Half his health down, it begins to charge at me, whipping its tail down on me. He's almost dead, I'm out of stamina, and I miss a dodge. Healing, and with 2 more throws, the beast is felled. Leveling up and equipping the gauntlets, boosting my damage by another 2%, switching the weapon back to bleed, and running through the Cerulean coast. Jumping down these ledges, hippity hop, down I go, and entering the Stone Coffin Fissure. And then I get ganged up on by a bird and a laser caterpillar. Let's try that again. This time tanking the lasers and slashing at the caterpillar till it crumbles, before the bird joins the fun and pecks me off the ledge. 3rd time's the charm, dealing with the bird first, then charging at the caterpillar and slashing it to bits, destroying the rest and charging ahead, getting pounced on and almost falling to my death, then fleeing as he tries to follow me and misses a jump. Been there, done that. Diving off this statue and entering the arena, Putrescent Knight. The knight comes charging out, rolling over me. I'm throwing and slashing at him with my Cirque, as he's trying to cleave me to pieces. At this point, I realize that it would probably make sense that this blob can't be bled, so my Cirque isn't going to cause a lot of damage. Still, I keep flinging at him, nicking at his health bar. At less than half health, I jump into the ghost flames, healing, then getting cleaved and the frostbite kills me. Switching the affinity to sacred damage, going back in, and the difference in damage is substantial. But I get caught in the flames once again, so I switch the 2-headed turtle tally with the smithing tally and dive right back in. This was definitely the way to go. A few throws and slashes, and he's already almost at half health. He casts his flames and I get frostbite, but I shrug it off. His ghost flames singe at my toes again, but I get up close and slash him till he's got a quarter left. He slams his cleaver down onto me, almost killing me, but I get back up, charging right up below him, and with a couple more slashes, he's liquefied. Another Remembrance defeated. Switching back to the turtle tally and equipping the next weapon once more, putting on the chest piece, since I'm still light loaded with this weapon, running into the finger runes of Rhea and blowing into this finger, where I pick up the Crimson Sea tally, which boosts HP restoration from flasks by 20%. Heading back to the Cathedral of Manus, switching my Grey Shield tally with the Crimson Sea tally, speaking to Ymir, resting at the grace, and ta-da, he's gone. Pushing the button and wee down the ladder I go. Getting behind Anna, she's spawning in, backslashing her into a stagger. She falls to the ground and I leap at her, slashing her down to nothing, blowing into this finger and getting transported to Mother Dearest, Mother of Fingers. Running towards her and getting pounced on, sticking close and slashing at her, dwindling her health down insanely quickly. She's at half health and spawns in her orbs, so I charge in close, but she leaps away from me, getting a laser to the face and getting trapped in her vortex. But as she descends, I'm leaping at her with a flurry of attacks. She gapes her chest open to spawn in fingers, right as I leap at her, eviscerating them. She's hanging on by a thread, and I get targeted by her lasers, but with one final slash, I put the creep out of her misery. Switching back to the backhanded blade, removing the chest piece and continuing on my journey, killing this hippo and this one for the Skadudu fragments, giving this door a good old shove, and entering the Darklight catacombs. As per usual, I spend some time running around blindly in the dark, going down this lift, this one, and this one, and then heading in to see the Inquisitor. I circle him like a shark as he spawns in his light show, flashing at him when he's done, and he teleports away. I charge at him, flashing at him, he's stun locked, and I keep slashing. He's on his last legs and he teleports away, spawning in some backup. I ignore them as I give him one last mighty slash. This was by far the quickest fight I've ever had with him. Charging ahead into the Abyssal Woods, trying to ambush the Maddening Hand, but he smacks me silly, sending me to madness and killing me. Charging at him again, dodging his flames and slashing at him, this time getting the better of him and killing him swiftly. Trying to sneak my way past the Untouchables, getting spotted, but running as fast as my feet could take me, managing to make it to the grace just in time. Some were sneaking around as the rats tried to blow my cover, finally making it out, and trying to blend in with the failed Midras, pushing this door open and entering Midra's Mancy, rolling into this painting, eliminating the Horned Warrior and leveling up with the Grace, traversing through the maze, going up a couple of ladders, and pulling at levers, getting me to the Screaming Madman. My first few swings meet air, but as soon as my sword meets his flesh, it only takes a couple of swings to silence him. Frenzied Flame. Oh look, a lava lamp has appeared. Dodging his flames, I swing my sword at him, and with a stagger, I get him down to less than half his health. He flies up into the air, shifting into phase 2. I dodge the rain of fire, charging at him, slashing at me with his sword, getting hit by his fire spew, and another sword swing, and I'm driven into madness. That was almost a first attempt Midra, so I was ecstatic. Running in again, this time eliminating the Screamer without the effects of madness, charging at the flame, trying to play it a bit more aggressively, and staying up close. Slashing at him, taking the damage till I'm almost dead, so I'm forced to back away. Leaping at him, getting a fireball to the face, and I'm almost down. As I'm healing, he slashes. Then his fire sends me into madness. He impales me with the sword, and I'm honestly surprised that I'm still standing at this point. Staying right beneath him, dodging his sword swipes, slashing at him, his health is depleting. Going mad once again, but I fight through it, swinging at him. He tries to levitate, but I slash him down, and the legend is felled. Switching back to the Cirque build, and traveling back to the Graveside plane, switching the affinity back to bleed, pushing this door open, and running past some scorpions, collecting the Skadudu fragment, and fleeing from the enemies. Except for these two, who are blocking the ladder. A Cursed Blade ambushes me, and I almost fall off the cliff, but I juke him just in time, and he goes tumbling down, pushing the door open and entering to face this dancing abomination, Dancing Beast. As I step in, he's doing all sorts of tricks and spins, trying to win by style points I see, but I stick to my regular jump and throw technique, which seem to be doing the trick, and when he comes too close, I slash at him. At half health, his electrifying lightning tricks come out, and I get a lightning bolt to the face. I get back up, dodging and slashing, almost getting pounced on mid-heal. Then it's cool time. Literally. So I jump and throw my Cirque at him, till somehow I first try him. Next weapon, traveling to the ancient ruins of Ra, killing another Hippo, single-handedly leading to their extinction. Collecting some Skadudu fragments, getting webbed, but I finally make it up this lift. Stepping through the fog, coming face to face with an exterminator's wet dream. Romina. She gets me with her first attack, and the short range of the weapon has me running up close to her to land a hit. Two flurry attacks barely neck at her health, but a leap attack takes a chunk out, staying right below her, giving her a solid double slash, and a bleed has her levitating to phase change. I keep chasing and slashing, getting a stagger, but I miss the stab follow-up. She turns into a roly-poly, trying to roll away from me, but a quick swish of my Cirque obliterates her. Another weapon switch, then teleporting back to the specimen storehouse to deal with the pain that is Messmer, giving the door a mighty shove and stepping in. Messmer. He launches at me, stabbing me, swirling and throwing his fire, but I'm on him as he lands, slashing him down with my blade. He retaliates, I stab him into phase 2. Then I roll right into the snake's open flame mouth, getting burned to a crisp. Second try, I spend my time dodging and slashing, getting a bleed. He's trying his best to turn me into a kebab. His flames and his stabs have me on the ropes, but I heal, sending him to phase 2 with a bleed proc. Flame Snake comes out to play, and I manage to dodge its gaping mouth, rolling towards it to slash. His wild flurry of attacks begins, and I'm rolling frantically out of the way. His snake lunges again and I slash, getting a bleed as it shifts back to Messmer. He's stabbing and leaping away from me, but I keep charging at him, and with two final slashes, Messmer the Impaler becomes Messmer the Dusty Failure. A second try Remembrance for the books, switching to the Cursed Blade Cirque, and putting on the chest piece. I travel to the ancient ruins of Ra once more, setting fire to the tree and watching it all burn down. Running up through an limb, sprinting past all the enemies, running across the rooftops, and getting pecked at. I keep sprinting ahead to the Skadudu fragment, playing some hide and seek with the Divine Beast. He spots me, but almost immediately forgets about me, so I run away. Litterbox. Charging into the sandbox to deal with Lida and her band of merry men. Hornset comes out first, and I slash him down till he's barely hanging on. Dryleaf is spawned in, and they both slash at me, so I back away. throwing my Cirque, and Hornset goes down. Turning to phase Dryleaf, he's more aggressive than Hornset, who pretty much went down without a fight. He slashes at me, I retaliate, then we both heal, as Lida is spawning in. I stay just out of reach, throwing my Cirque at both of them, but I try to focus mainly on Dryleaf, getting him down to half health, getting up close for some slashes, where Lida joins the fray, slashing me with her needle, so I keep having to back away. Sticking to flinging the Cirque, Lida casts her magic and I get caught in it. Running back in for revenge, dealing with Hornset in seconds before Dryleaf spawns in. As he spawns in, I'm charging at him, slashing and stun locking him. Lida spawns in, leaping at me. I flee, trying to separate the two, but they stick together. Cute. A final throw of my Cirque and Dryleaf is down. It's just Lida on me. Her needle is sharp and cuts through me like butter. I'm hanging in there, retaliating, getting a bleed, but she heals and we're basically back to square one. Out of flasks, I stay out of her reach, leaping and flinging my Cirque. With a final hit and a bleed, Lida is vanquished. Traveling to the Dragon's Pit, taking a leap of fate, and stepping into the fog to deal with the ancient Dragon Man. It's bleed on bleed, his slashes hurt, but my slashes cut deeper, and his health is just depleting. I keep slashing at him, stun locking him for a second, he heals, but I keep slashing. Throwing my Cirques at him, I run up close and slash one final time, and the ancient Dragon Man falls to his knees. Pushing this door open to get out of this pit and heading back out. Running across this wooden bridge and traversing through the jagged peak, I finally make my way to Bayle. Big boy Bayle. Running towards him and throwing my Cirque at him, starting to scratch at his health bar, whilst he breathes fire on me. I leap and throw, getting a bleed in. He summons his fire and lightning right below me, and I get stuck beneath him, having to tank it. He flies up into the sky and he creates his inferno, raining fire onto me, while I run in circles. When he slams his lightning down on me, the camera bugs out and I can't even see myself, but somehow I survive. He keeps flying up, slamming down at me, breathing fire and trying to cook me, but I'm still standing. I'm out of flasks, going for a roll to get away from his fire, but I still manage to get burnt to a crisp. There goes that amazing almost first try Bayle run, switching the blessed blue dew tally with the smithing tally for that boost in throw damage, then heading back in. This time, even though I switch tallies to increase throwing damage, I choose to stay up close and slash at him. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking there, to be honest. So I switched the smithing tally to the two-headed turtle tally and charge back in, staying up close and slashing at him, then throwing my Cirque when he backs up. Getting a bleed rinses through his health, so I keep slashing, then rolling away from the phase transition. When he's grounded, I'm back to his claws, slashing at them relentlessly. Getting another bleed, then immediately getting knocked down by a fireball to the face. This boyo has as much chill as this Cirque has range. I'm so close to death, but I run at him, slashing till I'm out of stamina. He flies up, then slams down again, and with one final leap and slash to the tail, Bayle is decimated. Switching to the Cursed Blade Cirque, it's time to face the final challenge, Radahn, bane of my existence. And there he is in all his might. Let's do this. Staying up close, slashing at him with the Cirque, I seem to have forgotten his attacks, and end up taking a few hits, till I'm back on my game. Slashing him down to phase 2, where the real fun begins. Sprinting away from the light show, then charging at him, leaping and slashing, and getting grabbed for a bear hug. He stomps on me and I go down. On my fourth attempt, I could practically taste the victory. I was slashing away at him, hoping to get a bleed and get it over and done with, but his sword had a different idea. I tried switching my backhand blade to see if that weapon was any better against him, slashing at him and getting a bleed in, which takes a chunk out of his health, getting him to phase 2. Staying up close, I slash and slash till he whips around and splits me in half. Switching back to the Cirque since it deals more damage. Switching up the Dragon Crest shield with the Rotten Winged insignia to do a damage test with that. This seems to be helping, managing to go through his health fairly quickly. Phase 2 was also going super well. At a quarter of his health, he disappears into the sky. I look around to see where he might come from, to no avail. He slams down into me, and I maple my way out of the story. Pause. I might need to respec, so let's head to the academy, muting some singers and eviscerating Rennala in seconds. So satisfying to see that damage. Going into phase 2, a few slashes and it's TKO. Time for a respec. Now since I'm at medium load, I switch the Rotten Wing tally with the Great Jar. Then take off the gloves. Time to test that out. Yeah, that was not good. Switching back to the backhanded blade, it seems to be going a little better. Even getting him to phase 2, but I still go down. Putting the gloves back on and switching back to the circ. A couple more attempts. Back to the backhand blade. Since it has more bleed potential, each bleed rinses through his health. But it still wasn't enough. I was getting closer and closer with each attempt. Getting bleed procs and slashing him down. He flies up into the air. I flee. Seeing my opportunity, I charge at him for a slash, rolling right into a light beam.
No, I rolled. That was a beautiful run. That was a beautiful run. I ended up freaking rolling into the thing.
On one attempt, he was barely hanging on, and I was slashing at his Achilles greedily, till he whipped around, slicing me.
No!
Darn, totally thought I had him there. I'm playing it much safer now, dodging, slashing, and making him bleed. He beams up into the sky and I flee. A fireball to the back and he starts zooming at me. Slashing upwards at him, dodging, then, with one final stab, the god is slain. And there you have it. This is how I beat the game using the backhanded weapons. I really enjoyed this challenge and switching between the weapons, because it made it feel a bit more diverse. I particularly enjoyed the Smith Script Circ, and I'm excited to do a playthrough with that weapon type, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, leave a like. I'd love to hear your feedback in the comment section down below. You can catch me live on Twitch, link in the description, and I'll see you all in the next one. Toodles! YouTube's recommending this video now, so be sure to check that out, and click here to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the uploads.